Hello, Rama Puppodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, and having a happy and peaceful life. Now let's continue with Mudaliar. Mudaliar's greatest contribution was from the period of 1945 to 1947, when he noted in a diary everything that transpired in Bhagavan's presence. This was published by the ashram as Day by Day with Bhagavan. I have seen the diary covered in a few notebooks. They all had Bhagavan's handwriting in a few places. Only a small number of pages had corrections, and they were all minimal in nature. While one finds in Talks with Ramana Maharishi, Bhagavan referring to traditional Sanskrit treatises, in Day by Day with Bhagavan, one rejoices in Bhagavan profusely quoting ancient Tamil devotional texts. In the late 50s and early 60s, it was my pleasure to prod Mudaliar to write down all stories and incidents that he had narrated to me in a book form. He was kind enough to consent without hesitation, and the result was his book of reminiscences of Bhagavan titled My Recollections of Bhagavan Sri Ramana. After I graduated from college, I stayed for 2 years in the ashramam. I was trying to get a job because my family was not financially well off. I was the first graduate in my family. People like Major Chadwick and Mrs. Talayar Khan was helping me find a job. While living in the ashram, working in the office, Bhagavan's grace made me persuade the old devotees to narrate to me incidents that took place in the presence of Sri Bhagavan. Major Chadwick and Mudaliar always obliged. When they narrated these stories, I requested them to write them down. These were the first 2 books of the reminiscences of Bhagavan. When I came to Ramana Ashramam for good in 1960, there were not many old devotees still living there, other than Major Chadwick, Devarajumudhaliar, Ramaswamy Pillai and Kunjuswamy. Mrs. Talayar Khan and S.S. Cohen stayed outside the ashramam. I used to spend a long time with Chadwick, Kunjuswamy and Mudaliar, delighting in their stories about Bhagavan and yearning to hear more. Mudaliar's social status was not that of an ordinary man. He belonged to the elite class. The British government even honored him with the title of Rao Bahadur, which means a most important man in society. He was a reputed lawyer with a superior intellect, yet he surrendered everything to Bhagavan. He said, spiritual surrender means we not only surrender my word, the me has to surrender to the silent state of I am. He recalled how Bhagavan had accepted the me, the good for nothing me, and revealed the precious, priceless I am. It may have been some time between 1961 and 1963. The ashram was very poor. There was only one male cook in its employ. Food was cooked for less than 15 people, and it was ration time. There was only cupped rice, kulambu without dal, watery buttermilk and pickle. No elaborate bhikshas. I was attending to all the ashramam works, including the needs of the dining hall. Mudaliar was excited that his granddaughter was coming immediately after her marriage, along with her husband. I had arranged for their stay at the Movi guest house, their return bus ticket and her horse cart to bring them from the bus stand. Since I had to go to town in the morning to see the ashramam lawyer, I assured Mudaliar that I would return in time to attend to the newlyweds. There was a little delay, and hence on the return from town, I rushed to Mudaliar's room to apologize. The young couple was in the old hall. As I was leading Mudaliar and the couple to the dining hall, he held my hand tightly and told me with great emotion, "See, I miss Sri Bhagavan's physical presence tremendously. He would have been delighted to see talk to and feed my grandchildren as if they were his own and would have given special personal attention. He became too emotional to continue the conversation. It was 10:30, earlier than the usual lunchtime, when I took the couple inside the dining hall, accompanied by Mudaliar. I was naturally surprised to see banana leaves spread for the couple. Mudaliar always ate only at the usual lunchtime. What was served to them was a veritable feast, with vadai, payasam and appalam. Just then, the ashram cashier rushed in and reported to me in whispers, "You were away in town from early morning." A telegraphic money order came with instructions that an elaborate bhiksha should be organized for the sender's granddaughter and a husband. So, without your permission, I arranged for all this. Please pardon me." The couple was very happy. After we saw them off, Mudaliar gave me a big hug with tears of joy in his eyes and exclaimed, "Ganesu, what a big fool I am. Though I did not express it openly to you, I was feeling miserable that we would have to feed them our daily dry food, and that if Sri Bhagavan were here, he would have ensured a big feast for them. See, Ganesu, to remove my misery, Bhagavan has taken the trouble to induce someone to send a telegraphic money order. What a great food feast on banana leaf with vadai, payasam and appalam Bhagavan has compassionately arranged." Saying this, he sobbed and sobbed, joyous tears in great elation and ecstasy. Mudaliar was always neatly dressed, pleasant and polite, and never got angry. Once I asked him, "How is it that you are always happy and pleasant?" In response, he shared with me 3 teachings. Be light, never feel heavy hearted at any time. Jesus Christ said, "Be a light unto yourself." That's it. Do not involve yourself in complications. Look at me, how happy I am. Do not make anything an issue. Remembering the past creates issues. Likewise, worrying about and projecting the future create issues. Refrain as far as possible from brooding over the past and the future. Remain in the now. He added, "God is within you. Who looks through your eyes when you look through your eyes? Who hears? Who eats? Who digests? Who make you go to sleep? This inner power, which Bhagavan called the higher power, is God. This inner power is truly who you really are. Abide in silence. Abide in the simple I am. Be happy always." The third thing he told me was, Bhagavan is the truth. Do not try to define the truth, for the mind cannot. Nobody has ever done it. If you surrender your me to the I am, the truth will reveal itself in your heart. You will recognize it intuitively, spiritually. I bless you. In 1964 or 1965, he had to leave the ashram in his last days because his family members wanted him to live with them. I arranged a farewell celebration in which all the devotees participated. He moved to Kanchipuram with his children and chanted Bhagavan's name continually. I directed a newspaper correspondent who had come to interview the ashram residents to Mudaliar, telling him about this gem of a devotee in Kanchipuram. One of the questions this journalist put to Devarajumudhaliar was, "It was you who elicited from Bhagavan that even a stone, a bird or a tree residing in Arunachala is liberated. Why are you then staying away from Arunachala in Kanchipuram?" The same correspondent later told me Mudaliar's reply. "That is what you say. Did I say I am ever away from Arunachala? Now that I am in Kanchipuram, is it any different for me? Bhagavan is always with me, and I am always in Arunachala. Whatever the feeling of I am is, there is Arunachala." Mudaliar was already in inadvertently spreading the teaching of I am. I had once asked him why he kept chanting Ramana's name, and he said, I asked Bhagavan, Bhagavan, I sometimes chant your name without even thinking about you. Is it alright? Do I get marks for this? Personally, I think I ought to get, maybe, not many, but at least 1 or 2 marks. Is it not so, Bhagavan? Bhagavan smiled and replied, Yes, you will get marks for this. I continued to say Ramana, Ramana, and have full faith that, as he told me, he will give me marks for doing so in the final examination. His relatives told me his last days were most peaceful. Until his last conscious moment, he kept chanting Ramana, Ramana. Chanting Ramana, Ramana is not just a mantra, a repetition or a ritual. Remembrance is being in that divine presence. When you chant Ramana, you are already established in the I am, the powerful and pure presence. That's all, folks. Let's continue in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Puppodu.